President Tinubu congratulates Trump on U.S. election victory.
Federal Executive Council puts off meeting in honor of fallen Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagaja.
He was indeed a very resourceful officer who has put it in best to fight insurgency in this country.
Nigeria's agricultural future blooms as First Lady Oluremi Tinubu announces competition finalist.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we shall discuss the U.S. presidential election and wider implications for Africa.
What a race.
Well, what did you expect?
Well, I expect good. All right, good morning and welcome to the program. The 2024 United States presidential election, what a race that was. It was a battle between Donald Trump aiming for a White House comeback and Kamala Harris striving to make history as the first female president. And now, here we are. Donald Trump has secured his spot as the 47th president-elect of the United States.
Absolutely. And this election wasn't just about, American politics. It held a magnifying glass over issues like, for instance, economy, healthcare, and climate change. But you could almost feel the world watching and trust on Trump and Harris. They certainly didn't hold back on some fiery debates around those very crucial issues, especially issues of immigration, abortion, and, of course, the gender issues as well.
Yeah, those are the issues that we'll look at today. Claire, healthcare, energy, immigration. It was a battle of visions. But now, with Trump back in office, what does this mean beyond the U.S.? Africa is looking closely because this election could impact the economy, security, and so much more here on the continent.
Absolutely, and in such a very, very impactful way. And we're not just talking about diplomacy. We're also looking, excuse me, we're also looking at trade deals, anti-terrorism efforts. America's relationship with Africa is deep and multifaceted. And with Trump's policies, if he does make them real, it will, of course, a lot of things to unpack, not just for Africa, but for Nigeria and, again, the whole of the continent.
Yeah, that's right, Claire. Today, we are zooming in on what this new chapter in America politics means for Africa. We've got experts in international relations, economics, and Africa studies who will help us navigate these big questions.
And we'll be moving from economic shifts to security and development agendas, and of course the major one, which will be trade. We'll be looking at all of those key areas of concern. I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss the insights of our experts on how this could reshape Africa's position on the global stage and how it could also impact our economy.
Yes, Claire, how it will impact us generally. America is number one. I think you need a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or water to clear the truth. So grab one or coffee, relax, and stay with us. I am Ademola Adeoye. Welcome to the program.
Yes, as we always say here, join us, of course, to get down. Good morning, Nigeria. Of course, it's your very favorite breakfast show. I'm Claire Adela Babdorosaka, and we're very thrilled to have you with us today on the network service of the NTA. And a special shout out to those tuning in from every corner of the world, but most especially from every corner of Nigeria.
And we'll be bringing in Chukwudi Okoli-Ugbaja later for a deep dive into today's news. A deep one.
We'll come and tell you he's not diving anywhere. or he's not anywhere in the building?
Well, he's around, I guess. But before that, let's just get the update from Comfort Amodu. How comfortable are you this morning,
Not even
Comfort?
comfortable. How comforting are the news this morning?
Very much comfortable. Good morning, Nigerians. Let's start with the trending stories with world leaders congratulating Republican candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump on his victory at the polls. The leaders promised to work with the re-elected president to strengthen the country's bilateral ties with the United States.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also joined other world leaders to extend his heartfelt congratulations to President Donald Trump on his victory at the polls for his re-election. The president looks forward to strengthening the ties between Nigeria and the United States amid the complex challenges and opportunities of the contemporary world. President Tinubu says together we can foster economic cooperation, promote peace and address global challenges that affect our citizens. The president, in a statement, says Trump's victory reflects the trust and confidence the American people have placed in his leadership. He congratulates them on their commitment to democracy. President Tinubu believes that given President Trump's experience as the 45th President of the United States from 2017 to 2021, his return to the White House as the 47th President will usher in an era of earnest, beneficial and reciprocal economic and development partnerships between Africa and the United States, as he acknowledged the United States' global influence and power. President Bola Tinubu has expressed regret over the death of Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taoreed Abiodun Lagbaja after a brief illness at the age of 56. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation indicates that President Tinubu has directed that national flags be flown at half-mast throughout the country for 7 days in honor of the departed Army Chief. The President appreciates the services of the departed to the nation and wishes the family the fortitude to bear this greater loss. Members of the Federal Executive Council under the chairmanship of President Bola Tinubu have also honored the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, by postponing the council meeting earlier scheduled for this Wednesday.
Honor of the dead Chief of Army Staff. May the soul rest in happy. Let's observe 1 minute silence in his honor.
The nation is in mourning. The president and the entire government is in mourning. He was indeed a very resourceful officer who has put in his best to fight insurgency in this country, and for the many achievements he has succeeded while serving this great nation.
He was a gallant officer, very, very hardworking. He was indeed a warrior. He has served in so many theaters and have done commendably well. It's a very sad loss for the country.
Away from that, after what can be described as a challenging task of sifting through highly competitive entries, a short list of 3 potential winners in the Every Home a Garden competition is now ready, well ahead of the D-Day in December. Nigerian's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu announced this after joining other board members of Renewed Hope Initiative and friends of the organizers of the competition at a screening session in her office, where winning entries from the states and federal capital territory were presented for assessment. With many of the entries aligning with the objectives of the competition, the First Lady says selecting the best 3 is a difficult task for the panel of assessors. Happy at the level of enthusiasm shown by Nigerian women towards the competition, the First Lady notes that her message on their critical role in achieving the broader national agenda of strengthening the agricultural sector is now hitting home. While applauding the quality of the entries, the First Lady says apart from the overall...
did their best. And I'm quite impressed. And we didn't even know what to pick, but they all did absolutely well.
She's looking into a particular message that you can feed yourself, then later on to share it with your neighbor. So they have done us proud.
There will be compensation for the overall winner after the entries must have been picked. The Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, in collaboration with the United Nations, is developing a strategy to expand the scope of information dissemination on social safety nets of the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration. A technical workshop at the headquarters of the ministry brought together relevant key players to review the social protection communication strategy.
The question asked, how many households have been touched by the social investment? People don't know. So we need to now be strategic in pushing out the information and explaining programs and policies of government, especially the ones that touch the less privileged, the downtrodden, because that is the mantra of this government.
Those are the highlights of the news at this time. Good morning, Nigeria continues with Claire and Ademola after this break.